TO Blaze.
Hey there, this is Tio making another installment of my Laythe Legacies series. And in today's video, I'm going to be delivering a small electric VTOL to Laythe. And there you see the transfer stage still attached, and a big old Rhino engine. And this is unpiloted, obviously. It doesn't have a crew member, so I've got a probe core, and there's my little deorbit stage, just enough to help me pinpoint the continent that I'm trying to land on. I like sending planes and helicopters and things like that to Laythe because pinpointing a landing can be difficult. I'm not using any mods that help with that, like MechJeb or something. So planes are very forgiving. You can always use your self-flight capabilities to get to your final destination. So as you can see, this is a plane-like shape with a hole in the middle of the fuselage there with a rotor, an electric rotor, and that's pretty much dead center with the center of mass of the plane. So I can use that rotor to take off and land vertically, and I typically disable it for flight and use my my wings as lifting surfaces and my two small jet engines on each side of the fuselage there. So the fuel tanks are also on center with that rotor, so that as they drain with fuel, my center of mass should not move, which is important, I feel, for VTOLs. So I'm going to go ahead and touch this thing down on the surface. And this is, again, Laythe Legacies is my career mode playthrough, so or it's filmed on my career mode playthrough. So I'll be using this craft to do different missions, help bring my scientists, for instance, somewhere to gather science. I can use the little part storage container in the front to store batteries or struts or anything that I might need to go and fix something or modify a craft. So that's kind of the purpose of this, to be able to move a scientist or an engineer around, and could also use it to rescue someone nearby. And it's got that VTOL utility, so I can get into a tight space, or I can get out of a tight space. And yeah, I like the use of engines and wings as opposed to strictly rotors, because they're much faster. You know, rotors, they tend to bug out, and you can't use them with physics time warp. That's what I meant by bug out. So yep, I need some electric charge to get that for that rotor to get me off the ground. So I went ahead and time warped to daylight, and just need to get off the ground enough. And I've got plenty of lifting surfaces. I don't need a whole lot of space to get up to speed, and I can turn off that rotor or leave it on as well. I don't. There you see I hit the brake, so I would imagine the rotor's going to stop spinning. I don't know that I remembered to take it off of the brake control group. So landed at the base, and I'm going to come over to the airfield area that I'm setting up. And this is just me practicing touching and going. Right now I'm going to try to take off without the use of the rotor. So pretty low takeoff speed, which is nice. It handles really well. So all in all, I really like the design of this thing. It flies well. There you see the rotors are still spinning. That's just under, that's not under power. They're just not broke. What is the past tense of applying the brake? I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to go out to the offshore research station. I don't know that I've showed it too much in the videos. I think I might have showed it in one of the earlier videos. Got a scientist out there, and go ahead and run some experiments in atmosphere over the ocean here. And I'm going to move that antenna out of the way so I can see those experiments. So I don't know that I ran these experiments previously, so I'm going to go ahead and run them now and retrieve them with a scientist and load them into the offshore research lab. So landing on the water is kind of tricky. It's not like the land where you can be moving horizontally across the surface. You need to try to come to a full stop and gently touch down. If you are coming too fast, the plane can pitch and dip into the water too quickly, and you can tear parts off of the craft. So I think I'm going to try to nose up, get my horizontal velocity canceled out as much as possible, and use that rotor to land vertically. So you can land like a typical plane would in the water. It's just, it can be tricky. So if I can just get this thing ooched a little closer to the station, that would be nice. So I don't have to swim quite as much. I'm curious in KSP2 if they'll add any more water mechanics, like maybe faster swimming, swimming capable EVA suits, anything like that would be kind of cool. But there you see the craft, perfectly suitable for landing on the water. I've got my little ladder that hopefully will fit through that space well enough for the Kerbals to climb in and out. And yep, I'm going to go ahead and send out one of my Kerbonauts. If I send out a scientist, they can repack the experiments for future use. So this station's set up so that I could egress from the bottom landing, what do you call the lander can? It's kind of under the surface there of the station. You can egress from there, or you can just jump over the railing like you just saw me do. So go ahead and collect all the experiment data and get back into the station. So there I'm going to use the landing can to get back in, and then I'll just transfer from one module to the next. So that's the gist of this flight, and I would call it a success. Very fun vehicle to fly around in, and loading up my experiments now. And yeah, that's it pretty much for this video. If you guys are enjoying the content, please leave a comment. I just realized I had a whole bunch of comments that I had not responded to yet, so I went back and responded to a bunch. Working on some fun new things, really trying to gear up for KSP2, which will be coming out next month. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Thank you for any likes and comments, and hope to see you next time.